Hey everybody, it's Erin at EverMint Design Studio, and this is the second tutorial on how to use this free design business pack that I had for you. Hopefully you watched the first one on the business card template, and now we're moving over to Photoshop to work on the social media and blog post templates to show you how to edit those. Um, Basically, I kind of went over the fonts before. I have the links to download them here. So if you want to use the Mocking script for your script font, you can download that here. And the Geometria Light can also be downloaded too. But feel free to use other fonts if you like. And I think basically we're just going to go right to Photoshop and get started. Okay, so the first one I'm working on is the Instagram template. This one is pretty straightforward. For the image size, I have this as 800 by 800 pixels. This has worked good for me before for Instagram as a square image, and it works good for quotes, so it's pretty straightforward. The first thing you want to do is, if you have a different quote that you want to pop in here, first of all, we're going to go over to the layers palette, and this is on the right hand side here down at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to find the text that is the quote. So that's "nothing can dim the light." So it kind of just shows that right here. So first of all, you want to click on that, then go over to your text type tool and just click on that. This is where you can go in and select it and just kind of type in, whatever quote that you want to put in right there. Okay, and once you have that in, that's pretty straightforward. I'm just going to go backwards here. Oh, it's not letting me. Okay, there we go. This right here is just a quotation mark that I have. If you want to change that to a different font, you would go to Window and then open up your character palette. And I have this as Mocking, but you can search for a different font here, and as you can see, that would change it. And you'll just need to adjust it, if you need to move it up if you switch the font. Next would be the person that is saying the quote, so the author of the quote, Maya Angelou. So basically the same thing, you just click on that layer, and then you can go in here and select the name and type in a new name. Okay, and then the only other thing on this one would be your logo. So if you have a logo that you want to place in here, feel free to do that. You would just go File, Place Embedded, and then find your logo, select that, and resize it to put it in there. If you are using this, I have this at the top here as Ashby Grace logo text. You want to select that, but then also click on the drop down arrow, and that'll open the two text files. So the first one is the Ashby Grace. You can go in and select that with your type tool, make that whatever you want it to be. And then also with photography, click on that separate layer and you can select the type tool and whatever, oops, that switched for some reason, but go in and select that and you can type in and make the photography say whatever you'd like it to. And that can act as your logo. And then once you're done, you just want to go File, Save As, and I would click down and select JPEG. So you hit Save. I'm going to replace that file because I already had it in there. When you're looking at image size, with this looks good, 120 kilobytes. Anything under, 300 should be just fine for Instagram. And maximum quality, so that's going to show up really crisp and clear too. And then you just hit OK, and that'll save your file as a JPEG. And however you use, if you use Dropbox or Google Photos to get that on Instagram from your phone, just go and grab that file and post it. So that should be good for the Instagram template. All right, so next I'm going to move on to the blog post template. First of all, this is obviously your title that you want here. I use two different fonts, and I'll show you. To Rock is a separate text line. It's not connected with the 10 ways your engagement photos. So you kind of have to plan out what your blog post is. It's 10 ways to sew a pattern, you know, so you kind of have to change it up how you want it to be. So if you want to go into the 10 ways first, once again, go to your type tool and select. I was on that for some reason. It's doing that today, but sometimes you have to select it from the bottom up to kind of get it to work, but whatever you want to be right here. Obviously, you can go in and type in the title of your blog post, and then whatever your accent word is right there, then you'd click to the layer that says To Rock, and I have that in the Mocking font, but feel free to use whatever. To bake, you know, and like I said in my other post, this gives a huge space right here with this font for some reason, so you have to go up to the kerning and adjust it. If you do -100, I've been doing -300, just typing that in, and that kind of closes that up. And then you can just kind of move it around with the arrow keys to place it in the right spot if you want it centered. So that kind of takes care of that text. You don't have to do anything with the octagons. You know, they can always stay as long as you're formatting your text to fit inside there. The next thing you're going to want to change out, obviously, is your photo. So if you click down here, you'll see the actual photo that I have in here. A quick way of doing this is if you have your photo and it's already sized correctly, I just right click and you can hit replace contents. If you go in, say you have another photo, we're going to try this one. Double click on that to select it. Okay, so that'll put another photo in there. You may want to adjust that a little bit. I already had this rectangle as a clipping mask over this area, so the photo would fit right in this area. But if you want to change that, I'm just zooming out here. What you got to do is click on this little link icon. Make sure your photo is selected here with the box around it. And then what I do is Command T for transform. And then you can move it and you can shift. I do an option shift with my mouse and then I drag down. So then that's going to fit in there better. And then I click up here to the move tool. It'll ask me if I want to place it. You hit place. And so now that'll give it a better placement. So then I would go back and relink that so that stays within that box that I created, that clipping mask. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. Now logo, kind of like we did before for the Instagram template, you can either go to File, Place Embedded, select your logo, and place that in there. Or you can use the pre-made Ashby Grace text, which is right here. I'm just toggling it off and on so you can see. And type over that, and as well as photography, and change that out for your business name. And then also, if you scroll through the layers palette, you can see the website address, www.ashbygrace.com. So once you have that layer selected, you go to your type tool again and just type in your website address right here. And then I'll just do that so you can kind of see pineandlace.com. So I just typed in a new one right there. That's pretty much straightforward too. So hopefully I went over everything. I know that was kind of quick, but basically that's the way to adjust it so you can get your blog post title in there as well as your logo and your website, and the rest of it can stay the same. If you're familiar with changing colors and things like that, feel free to do that, you know, as you wish with these items too. So basically then from there, what you want to do is convert that to a JPEG so you can use that in your blog post. So I would just go up to File. After you save it, you're going to want to obviously resave this as a new name so you have it saved to your computer. Once you saved it, which you probably should have done first, which I didn't explain that, but I'm assuming you know that. And then go to File, save as, and then you can click down to JPEG, hit save, and then that'll save that to your computer. I'm just gonna hit 2 and then hit save. And like I said before, as long as this is under 300 kilobytes, you should be good to go, and just hit OK. And now I'm going to go pull up that file folder where we have them saved. Okay, so this shows the 2 that we just saved. Here's your Instagram. And here's your blog post. Okay, for some reason that's saving a ton of white space. Let me just look at that. And I don't know if that has something to do with that artboard, but let me just try saving that again. You can save as JPEG. I'm just going to rename that. For some reason it's doing that. Okay, I'll take a look at that. But anyway, you should be able to save this, no problem as a JPEG. And I'll take a look at this file before I send out the final one here. But it should work on your end. But if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email at erin@evermintdesignstudio.com, and I would be happy to answer your questions. But anyways, have fun designing your branding materials, and once it's done, if you want to shoot me a link or comment on my blog post, or do a hashtag EverMint on Instagram, I would love to see your redesigned branding materials. All right, thanks. Bye.